So hello all and welcome to this series where we are trying to systematically make the all-time IPL 11. So first of all, we will start with CSK franchise. So we'll go franchise by franchise and we'll make all-time 11 of each franchisees. Then we will try to move on and try to combine two franchisees and make their 11, and then probably four franchisees and make them their 11, and probably we'll get to the final 11. So this is how we are going to make, and the criteria for a player to be selected in the all-time 11 for his respective franchise is that he should have played at least 30 matches for the franchise. Right? Okay. So the first player that directly fits into this 11 is MS Dhoni at number 5, who is the captain and wicketkeeper of this 11. And then there is another player, Mr. IPL Suresh Raina, who directly fits into this 11 because of the amount of runs he has scored, amount of half centuries, amount of centuries that he has scored for this particular franchise. So I hope there is no doubt or there is no debate on these two players, right? Anyone who disagrees with Suresh Raina and MS Dhoni in all-time CSK IPL 11? I hope everyone agrees till now. Okay, cool. So now let's move on. So I'll ask each of you about a particular player and what's your opinion if he fits at that particular position or not, right? So if you see the openers, so in CSK, there is only one Indian opener who satisfies this criteria. That's Murali Vijay. And we have four overseas opening options here with CSK. So which means that at least one overseas opener will fit into all-time CSK 11, right? So first of all, I would like to know, Ashish, your opinion that who is your first choice overseas opener who should be in this all-time CSK 11? Will you go with Mike Hussey, who has the highest average among these overseas openers, who has scored most number of half centuries, or will you go with someone like Matthew Hayden, who has the highest strike rate and his average is somewhat equal to Mike Hussey but not the highest, or will you go with some other option? Someone like Shane Watson, who has scored highest centuries for CSK.
I will definitely go with Micah C because as I can see, he has scored 1,700 plus runs in the league and average of 41, which is quite tremendous. And he has done a lot for CSK franchise and his national team. So definitely my number one choice opener will be Micah C, no doubt about that. And
Okay.
age 50, I can see 12 50s and one century, which is remarkable. So yeah, Micah C is my first choice opener.
Okay. So Sanjay, so Ashish is going with highest average person. So Sanjay, what's your opinion? Will you go with the highest average person or will you take a different approach?
Yeah, even my choice would be same Mike Hussey because Mike Hussey was tremendous while he was playing for CSK. The runs he scored, that aggressiveness I couldn't find in any player when compared to Shane Watson or Matthew Hayden. Even in the crucial times, scoring big shots, providing good contributions to the CSK's batting and all. I think Mike Hussey gets upper hand here. And personally, not I was not a CSK fan, but seeing just Micah's innings, I just became a fan for the way he bats in the IPL, his aggression and what you tell that some beauty to see the shots he play. So my choice would be Micah as well.
Right. So Varun, there are two votes for Mike Hussey. Will you also go for Mike Hussey or will you select any other player? Will you prefer strike rate over average?
Well, I'm not gonna go with Hase. I'm probably gonna pick Matthew Hayden. He is one of the most destructive batsmen, and he gave some incredible performances for Chennai Super Kings. Even I did not see any of his performances because either I was not born or either I was not in the interest of cricket just yet. But I was watching some highlights, and when seeing him, there's a magic dust in him. I felt, watching him bat in the opening slot, with 1,000 plus runs and a strike rate of 137. I think, yeah, he's a destructive opener, and this is just my pick.
Okay. So right now I'll keep this as Hussey 2 and Hayden 1 for the first choice opening slot. So maybe maybe we'll see after selecting remaining slots if both can fit in the 11, or maybe you have to go with only one in this 11, because we can only have 4 overseas players, right? So now let's move on to middle order 3, 4, 5. So number 3 is taken by Suresh Raina. Number 5 is taken by MS Dhoni. So there is only one spot left in the middle order. And if you see that there are 3 competitors: Ambati Rayudu, Subramanian Badrinath, and Faf du Plessis. So here you have to make a judicial choice whether you want to go with an Indian option, that's Ambati Rayudu or Badrinath, who have a similar kind of stats as Faf du Plessis, or whether you want to go with Faf, who has scored more half centuries as compared to Subramanian Badrinath or Ambati Rayudu. So Ashish, your pick, will you go for an Indian option or will you go for Faf du Plessis?
I will go with Ambati Rayudu because I've seen him batting with CSK, so I have seen how
Oh,
attacking he can be at
what's your choice? What's your choice?
Ambati Rayudu.
Okay, okay,
My
okay.
choice is because I've seen him play that number 4. He plays for another franchise, Mumbai Indians. He also played there, and he played for CSK also. So number 4 is ideal spot for Ambati Rayudu because he can accelerate his innings from there on, and he can give stability to the middle order also. So as we have only 4 picks for overseas, so it's make quite difficult. So I'll go with Ambati Rayudu number 4.
Right, right. So Sanjay, what's your option? Will you also go with an Indian option, or will you go with some other option like Faf du Plessis?
Yeah, my choice is Ambati Rayudu. I'll tell the reason as well. Fab du Plessis, I have seen him. I've seen him as an opener, not as a middle order batsman. When it comes to finishing matches and giving that middle order knocks, Ambati Rayudu as apparent because the best example is 79 this year for Mumbai Indians. I mean for Chennai Super Kings, the way he batted and the 82, even he can open 82 in Bangalore. So I think Rayudu as apparent, he can anchor the innings. The times where he want to play the strike rotation shots, he can play. He can be aggressive at sometimes. He reads the bowler very well. I think it's a perfect number 4 slot for Ambati Rayudu. I think no one can play number 4 for Ambati Rayudu except no one can play number 4 except Ambati Rayudu.
Right, right. So 2 votes for Ambati Rayudu. Varun, what's your opinion? Are you going with Ambati Rayudu or overseas choice, or maybe some other option like Subramanian Badrinath?
I'll go with Ambati Rayudu as well. And as Sanju said, I have never seen Faf du Plessis as much of a middle order batsman, only as an opener. I think Sanju covered most of what I was gonna say. The 70 plus this season in 28 balls or something. He's a perfect middle order batsman. We saw that for the Indian team too. He did not get many place in the XI, but yeah, he's a great batsman in the middle order. He can get some handy runs for them. He's we've seen him in the past too. He can be a match changer, like in 2018 finals. In 2018, he was. I felt like he was the reason, the magic dust of CSK.
Right, right. So GSS is here. So GSS, what's your opinion about the number 4 spot? Will you go with Faf du Plessis or will you also go with Ambati Rayudu? Right now, Ambati Rayudu is winning this spot.
Definitely Rayudu. The reason is Faf du Plessis is more effective at the top order than in the middle order. So I feel Rayudu is a perfect guy for that position, for the options we have. He has already performed at number 4 for India. For CSK, we have seen him recently. He has scored very well against Mumbai Indians. So I feel Rayudu is the best option in that position.
Right. Okay, okay. So middle order for CSK is logged. Suresh Raina, Ambati Rayudu, MS Dhoni. This was probably the easiest middle order pick. So now we'll go to the most difficult one, that's lower order. So before we go to lower order, let me ask this question. Let me try to demystify it a bit. So according to you, who is going to be the prime spinner irrespective of the role, whether he's going to be Muthaiya Muralidharan, whether he's going to be Ravi Ashwin, whether he's going to be Ravindra Jadeja, or whether he's going to be Shadab Jakati, because depending on that, we'll try to find the balance in the lower order, right? So first of all, Ashish, who is going to be your prime spinner?
Definitely, Ashwin will be my prime spinner because as we all know that Chennai plays at Chipok. So it's a turning ground, and Ravichandran Ashwin is also a local boy and has a very good track record in chip hawk. So yeah, definitely Ashwin is my pick. No doubt
Right,
about that.
right. So Ashish has picked Ashwin. So Sanjay, who is going to be your prime spinner?
Yeah, I was just analyzing in my mind. There is a tie between two of them, Ashwin and Muttiah Muralidharan, and I see both are the legends in their own format. Even Ashwin is still playing; he's considered as a legend because being a hometown, we just saw when Indian bowlers were struggling, how easy he was picking the wickets against England. That is what is the capacity of Ashwin. So when same with Muralidharan can just bowl some mystery deliveries to get the batsman out. But at the end of the day, my choice would be R. Ashwin because considering it as a hometown and he can read the pitch factor very well and he can provide you that turn in the this thing and the degree of turns and all. Ashwin just knows how to tackle the batsman, be it Virat Kohli, be it AB de Villiers, or be it anyone. So he hits on the weakness spots of the batsman. I think no one reads batsman better than Ashwin. So my pick would also be Ashwin.
Right. So Varun, what about you? Are you going with Muttiah Muralidharan, an overseas option, or R. Ashwin?
I'm gonna go with 3 out of 3. I'm gonna go with Ravichandran Ashwin. His sublime variations. It tricks the batsman, and he's one of the special players who uses his mind very well and bowls according to the pitch. Dhoni used to hand him the ball in the opening overs. He used to make a huge difference and good difference. More than 120 wickets. What else do you need? This is the kind of leading spinner that you need in any team.
Right, right. So GSS, are you going with same opinion, or do you have a different opinion?
It's definitely Ravi Ashwin, because if we opt for Ravi Ashwin, we have free overseas slot for an all-rounder or an opener. And another thing is Ravi Ashwin provides you that extra thing with the bat as well. He can help you with few runs in the lower order.
Right.
So it's Ravi Ashwin.
Okay, so we have logged Ravi Ashwin for number 8. So now, considering that we are making all-time 11 by taking the home pitch conditions into consideration, so we are making all-time CSK 11 for Chennai ground, right? So who is going to be the main power play bowler? Because if we see here, we have options of Deepak Chahar, we have options of Mohit Sharma, we have options of Doug Bollinger, who can bowl in the power play as well as death. And then we also have the likes of Shardul Thakur and Al Balaji, who are not that economical as compared to these bowlers. But if you look at their strike rate, they are wicket taking bowlers. So let's break it down into power play and one death bowler. So who is going to be your prime power play pace bowler? So Ashish, who is going to be your first pick?
It's quite difficult, and it's a tie between Deepak Chahar and Doug Bollinger. But I will go with Doug Bollinger because I've seen him bowling, and he's lefty bowler, and the natural angle which a left arm bowler gets. Even I'm a lefty, and I know what a left arm pace bowler angle can attack the batsman. So yeah, I will go with Doug Bollinger as my first choice pace bowler and power play bowler as well. And he have taken 54 wickets as I can see here. So 40 matches, 54 wickets, not a bad record. And considering home conditions, even though he's an Australian bowler, but he has performed well in IPL. So yeah, Doug Bollinger for me.
Right. So Ashish has picked an overseas bowler who has the best economy among the pacers who have played for CSK, and also the best bowling strike rate among the pacers who have played for CSK. So let's move on to Sanjay. Sanjay, who is going to be your first prime pacer?
Yeah, because even you give me a job to think about Deepak Chahar. Deepak Chahar is an emerging bowler, I can tell. But Dog Bollinger brings experience with him. The left arm angle, Dog Bollinger holds the ball like this. The release point when compared to Deepak Chahar and Dog Bollinger, there are some variations provided by Dog Bollinger. His height and the release point where he gives the balls like this. Deepak Chahar provides the knuckleball deliveries and the in swing. So I would go with Dog Bollinger because we want that variations to happen in power play. Because not to tell like this, every time the swing doesn't work, because few have a weakness against swing and few doesn't have a weakness against swing, they start hitting. Bollinger is someone who reads the batsman. If they're set to play for leg side, he'll confuse them with the offside, and he can use that swing variation angle, and he can trouble the batsman at its peak. So considering his economy and the wickets he has picked for CSK, I think my Doc Bollinger is having upper hand when compared to Deepak Chahar in the power play, and Bollinger can be used even in the death. So I'm just seeing both the aspects. So we CSK can cover 2 overs in the power play, 2 overs in the death. It's more than enough. Bollinger is someone who can deliver you with the best of his capacity. So my option is Doc Bollinger.
Right. So Varun, what about you? Are you going with the Bollinger or you have a different opinion?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a tough one between, again, Deepak Chahar and Bollinger, but I'm going to go out of the box. I'm going to think out of the box and go with Deepak Chahar. His swing seam is absolutely perfect, and his immaculate line and length when bowling, it's just amazing to see that. And he is also deadly during the power play. He can choke the flow of runs for other batsmen of other team. Well, it was a big competition, between Bollinger and Deepak Chahar. But considering the recent form of Deepak Chahar, I think I'm gonna pick him.
Right. Okay. So we have one vote for Deepak Chahar. Now, GSS, what about you? Are you going with Deepak Chahar, or are you going with Doug Bollinger, or you have any other player in mind?
Definitely Deepak Chahar.
Okay. The reason?
No doubt in it. He's an upcoming bowler. He still had to give. He will still give another 5-6 seasons in IPL. He's still in his prime. He still has another 2 to 3 best seasons coming up.
Okay. Okay. So it's again. Let me put this as
Another
tie.
thing, he's like a bowling all rounder. For Rajasthan, he plays at number 6. So
Right. Okay. So right now it's a tie. So if we want an Indian pacer for that spot, and if we are lacking in overseas spots, then maybe we can go to Deepak Chahar, or otherwise Doug Bollinger can already fit in. So now let's talk about death bowling options. So we need to pick another pacer. So if you look at this lineup, yes, Doug Bollinger is a guy who can, if he's picked in this lineup, he can give 2 at the end. Then what all options we have? We have the options of Mohit Sharma, who can bowl 2 in power play, 2 in death. We have the options of Shardul Thakur and Lakshmipati Balaji. So among these three, if you want to pick one, who would that bowler be? Indian bowler, Mohit Sharma, Shardul Thakur, or Lakshmipati Balaji? Ashish, your pick.
It's a tough call, but I will go with Mohit Sharma because he can bowl backhand delivery so well among these three. And as I can see, Lakshmipati Balaji, he has also done tremendous for CSK, and we all have seen how crucial he is in the death side. He's the current bowling coach of CSK. It's a harsh call on Balaji, but yeah, as we are considering all-time 11, so I can go with Mohit Sharma, no doubt about that, because he's a handy pacer and he can give you wickets in the deaths with his variations and slow balls, knuckle balls. So yeah, Mohit Sharma for me.
Right. So Sanjay, what about you?
Yeah, I just compared the economy rates when Ashish was talking. Yeah, Mohit Sharma has 7.35, whereas Shardul Thakur and Lakshmipati Balaji has above 8.1, 8.24 and 9.3. I think for the death bowler, the suitable position is Mohit Sharma considering the economy 7.34. And as Ashish almost covered all the points, he can provide you with that variation, slow deliveries. At the death, batsmen will be hungry for runs. They'll try to get big shots. There comes Mohit Sharma. There he can provide you with that slow deliveries. When batsmen get much pressure, they go for high shots. That in turn turns to be a catch or a bold or some pressure might he create. So at that slow delivery variations is much needed in the death when you have aggressive batsmen like Pollard or Russell or someone. So I think Sharma gets upper hand based on the economy and the average as well. So Sharma gets upper hand. So my choice is also Mohit Sharma.
Right. So Varun, what about you? Are you also picking Mohit Sharma, or will you go with someone like Shardul Thakur, even though his economy is high? But if you look at his batting contribution among these bowlers, he's the one who can give that highest batting contribution.
Well, I can't pick Shardul Thakur right now. He's expensive. He can take the important wickets, but his form is inconsistent. He can give more than 10 plus economy. So this is why I'm gonna pick Mohit Sharma. he was just incredible for CSK. First of all, he also took 23 wickets, which made him win the purple cap with the CSK. But later on he couldn't do much. But for the CSK, he was truly an exceptional bowler. As I told, he also won the purple cap. So I guess this is the reason why I'm gonna pick.
Okay. So GSS, who is your pick? So will you also go with Mohit Sharma? Right now we have 3 votes for Mohit Sharma.
Even though Shardul Thakur has an upper hand with the bat, but I would still prefer Mohit Sharma. The reason is his economy. Another thing, the variations he used to produce in the 2014 season or 2015 season. When he was in prime, he was one of the best bowlers for CSK. Now we are seeing CSK struggling with the death bowling. Though all the players are contributing with the bat, they're not able to defend the runs. They're leaking a lot of runs in the last 4 overs. So Shardul Thakur isn't performing that great at the death. So I would definitely go with Mohit Sharma.
Okay. So Yatharth has joined us. So Yatharth, what's your opinion if you have to pick one among Mohit Sharma, Shardul Thakur, or Lakshmipati Balaji? Okay, I think he has left. Yeah, so he has left the meeting. So let us fix Mohit Sharma for this particular slot. So Mohit Sharma is the second bowler who fits into this 11 right now, and he's another Indian, and he's an Indian bowler. So there is, so we still have those 4 overseas slots left with us. So 7.25, 103.57, and then his economy is, Mohit Sharma is around 7.95, and his strike rate is 17, which is pretty impressive, right? So now there is one spot left for bowlers, and this will come later because depending on how we select a 6-7, then we will try to figure out whether we need an additional spinner or additional pacer, right? So let's try to fix the number 6 and 7 slots. So here we have 3 options and very different options. First is, if you want a spin all-rounder, you have the option of Ravindra Jadeja, an Indian player again. Then you have 2 brilliant options who have performed very well for Chennai Super Kings, and it's difficult to pick one among these 2, LB Mockle or DJ Bravo. So one is a batting all-rounder who gives that kind of fiery finish at the end, and one is a bowling all-rounder who gives you that kind of bowling at the death. So it's difficult to pick one, but now if among these 3, so first let's talk about the overseas slot first, right? So among DJ Bravo and LB Mockle, you have to pick one, right? So maybe then we can have a toss-up. So we don't know if both can fit or not. So if both can fit, then maybe you have to go with someone like Shadab Jakati as an additional bowling or additional spinner, right? So yeah, first of all, Ashish, your pick, whether will you go with DJ Bravo or will you go with LB Mockle?
Picking one of these 2 is too difficult for me because coming in this meeting before, I was thoughting that Bravo and Morkel, and I have to pick one. So I will go with Bravo, but it will be harsh on Morkel because the 6 sitting capability of Morkel, amazing, because he hits out of the park everywhere, 100 meter plus sixes. So yeah, but yeah, coming to death bowling, Bravo is handy with his death bowling variations at any pitch, at any conditions. And Bravo has performed from a long season for CSK. LB Morkal has also performed, but yes, Bravo is my pick, first choice pick.
Right. So when we talk about LB Mockle, you have to ask a RCB fan. So those 6s that LB Mockle hit to Virat Kohli, they still haunt them. So yeah, Sanjay, your pick, will you go with LB Mockle or will you go with DJ Bravo?
Yeah, considering the batting strike rate, bowling economy, and the average, it's a very tough job because LB Morkel and DJ Bravo are the best all-rounders CSK ever had, because that LB Morkel, that 6 hitting capacity, and DJ Bravo's death bowling plus batting combination, it has an upper hand. But for this, my pick would be LB Morkel, because LB Morkel will be handy with the bat also, and when needed, he can bowl. As we have sorted our death bowling, I think it's Doc Bollinger and Mohit Sharma. I think there is no need of DJ Bravo here. We can have additional spinner. So I think Albie Morkel, considering economy, Albie Morkel has 7.78, whereas Bravo has 8.75, and even his strike rates of 144.2. So I would pick Albi Markel ahead of DJ Bravo only because he can clear that big shots, and he can provide you some 2-3 overs in the middle overs. I think when some bowler is expensive, be it Ashwin or someone, you can have Albi Markel bowl with the space. So I think that is where he comes in handy. So considering bowling economy and strike rate of batting, I am going with Albi Markel.
So yeah, it's a difficult one. So let's ask Varun. So Varun, will you go with DJ Bravo or will you go with LB Mokel?
It's a hard one, man. It's a really hard one. But I'll go with probably DJ Bravo. He's earned 2 purple caps with the CSK franchise. He's picked more than 140 wickets. And, when you're talking about Albi Morkel, he can hit those big shots, but also DJ Bravo can provide you with that. We should not also forget that, like the 2018 season opener against Mumbai Indians, he is the only one who stood still and won the game for them. So could provide some performances like that. Yeah, it's a bit harsh to leave out Albi Morkel like that. I've seen some of his performances. They were amazing, but as I told, it was a hard pick for anyone. This is a hard pick, but today I'm gonna go with DJ Bravo.
Right. So GSS, what's your opinion? Are you going with DJ Bravo or will you prefer a batting all-rounder in LB Mokel?
I would love to play both of them. It's a very tough choice. We have seen Albi Mokel had the same impact like how Pollard and Russell have now. Six hitting ability as well, and he used to be handy with the ball as well. It's a tough choice to pick. It's a really tough choice. Deep, I want to ask you one thing. Why isn't Imran Tahir in the spinners list?
Yeah, because he didn't play 30 matches for CSK.
Okay. I just asked you because he was a purple cap holder, right? For one of the seasons.
Right. So the criteria that we have taken is the player should have played 30 matches for the franchise.
Okay. Now it's actually a tough choice, bro, between these two guys. Like one is handy with the bat, and even Bravo is handy with the. When it comes to death bowling, if you want extra help for the death bowling, then Bravo is the choice.
So your pick.
If you want extra assistance, it's a tough one.
Yeah, but you have to make a call. You have to make a call.
Because if you're going with two Indian openers, then we can pick both the all-rounders.
Right. So if you have to pick one right now, one.
Okay, DJ Bravo.
Okay, so three votes for Bravo.
It's only because of the death bowling.
Yeah, 3 votes for Bravo right now. So 3 votes for Bravo. Bravo is in lead, and then 1 for Morkel. So let's keep it like this. So now, so the question is that are you willing to leave Ravindra Jadeja so that we can have LB Morkel and Dwayne Bravo at number 6 and 7? Because then you will have that firepower in the batting. Then your death bowling is also sorted. But then the question is that then you have to drop Doug Bollinger and you have to include Muthaiya Muralidharan as your second spinner. So are you willing to do this? So the question is to Ashish, are you willing to play both Morkel and Bravo and drop Doug Bollinger and have Muthaiya Muralidharan as a spinner and play Deepak Chahar as power play bowler?
Considering dropping of Doug Bollinger, I don't think I will ever drop Doug Bollinger of the power play bowler. And yeah, playing DJ, if it is in my hand, I will go with DJ Bravo and LB Morkel for sure. But as you mentioned that we have to drop Bollinger for that. So I will go with Jadeja for that because we have seen firepower in batting and we have firepower from number 1 to number 5 or 6. So yeah, if Jadeja fits in the 11, so it will be clear and tremendous firepower from the batting and handy with bowling. So yeah, Jadeja for that because we have picked Bravo. So I think there is no space for Morkel now.
Okay. So the question is to Sanjay, same question. So are you willing to drop Jadeja so that you can include Bravo and Morkel both and then drop Bollinger and have Muthaiya Muralidharan?
No. I thought you just give me tough questions in Bravo and LB Morkel, but I didn't expect that you'll throw another tough question like this. dropping out Jadeja. But when it comes to me, I would surely play Jadeja and drop Morkel. As Bravo has a majority vote, I'm considering that, and I'm telling I'll drop Morkel because Jadeja is someone who is good with the bat, who is good with the ball also. He can bowl some good overs. We have seen him bowl some pretty awesome spells, and he's having 100 plus 100 wickets for CSK itself. And he can be handy with the bat. 136 strike rate for a bowling all-rounder is no joke. So I think Jadeja will be a good because we'll get the second spin option also. So we can have a pacer or a spinner. We can decide at the end whether our number 11 should be a pacer or a spinner. So I would play DJ Bravo and Ravindra Jadeja as my all-rounders.
Right. So same question to you, Varun. So are you willing to drop Ravindra Jadeja so that you can include both Bravo and Morkel and also Muthaiya Muralidharan?
Well, when talk about Bollinger and Chahar, I picked Chahar. So I think I can take Bollinger out of the equation. But it's another hard pick. Jadeja and Morkel, it's really hard. I've been thinking about this. I still have not come to a conclusion on who to pick. But if we need Bollinger, we need to pick Jadeja. But I'm going to go with Morkel. I'm sorry to all. If you want Bollinger, I'm sorry. You can't have him because I'm voting for him. Okay, I'm going to go with Albie Morkel. First of all, yeah, his big shots, it can change games. Yeah, he played 6 seasons and he picked more than 80 wickets. His strike rate is almost 150. It's kind of hard to leave him out. Jadeja too, he is pretty impactful with the bat and ball. Yeah, again, as I said, it was a difficult decision, just like at Bravo and Morkel. But I think I'm gonna fill in Morkel for this number 7 or number 6 position.
Okay. So Jadeja has majority right now for number 6 spot. So GSS, what's your view? Are you going with a different approach? Whether you want to include Muthaiya Muralidharan and both the all-rounders?
I want both the all-rounders to play.
Yeah.
I prefer Deepak Chahar over Dougie Bollinger, and I want both the all-rounders to play.
Right. Okay. So we
even
have
Sir Jadeja is included. He's actually an asset to the team. The value adds to the fielding department as well.
Right. Okay.
So definitely, if I had an option to play all 3 all-rounders, Bravo, Jadeja, Morkel, definitely I would have included all 3 in my team.
Okay. So Jadeja has majority here. Jadeja and Bravo. So probably we'll fill the spots like that. And maybe we'll come back to this if we have to revise it a bit, depending on how we select our openers. So Jadeja fits at number 6 with batting average of 26.69 and 136.44, which is another Indian. So 3, 4, 5, 6 are all Indian players here. So that's a luxury that we have, 7.74 and 21.7. And depending on this right now, I'll fill in Bravo right now here. So your death bowling is sorted. So Bravo takes one overseas spot. So Bravo has this average of 25.78 and strike rate of 136.67. So, and he gives the economy of 8.26 and strike rate of 17, right? So now it's up to us that if we can play. So let's come to openers, right? So the only Indian option that we have is of Murali Vijay, right? So if you can play Murali Vijay and Mike Hussey as your 2 openers, then at number 11, you have the luxury of playing Muthaiya Muralidharan as your spinner, right? Or if you want both Mike Hussey and Matthew Hayden at the top, then number 11 will be an Indian player, right? So this is a call that you have make, whether you want both overseas at the top or you want an overseas bowler in Muthaiya Muralidharan at number 11. Yeah, Ashish, your pick.
Yeah, before picking a player, I would like to ask one question. Brendan McCullum, I think he has completed his 30 match or not?
No. He has completed 30 matches for KKR. So when we'll make KKR 11, Brendan McCullum will feature there.
Okay. Because I've seen, I think 20 plus matches he has covered, but I'm not sure that he's
Yeah.
completed 30 matches. So picking another number two opener, a tough call because if we pick Vijay, then we have the luxury to pick Muthaiya Muralidharan at the end. But as I can see, Ashwin and Jadeja are the prime spinners for me in the all-time 11. So I'll go with Watson. I will go with Watson as my number two opener because he has performed well for CSK and he has taken his responsibility so well. He has not performed in one or two matches. That's not the main reason. But yes, lefty-righty combination of Mike Hussey and Watson can be lethal for any pace attack because disturbing field at every point of time is the tension causing for the captain. And yeah, Watson has scored centuries for CSK and CSK franchise. So yeah, Watson and Hussey are my two pair openers for CSK.
Okay. So Shane Watson, another vote for Shane Watson. So Sanjay, what about you? Are you going with Hayden Hussey combo or will you go with Watson Hussey combo?
I am going with bit change even compared to Ashish. I want even Deepak Chahar to play as well. So Deepak Chahar will be my 11. Or Deepak Chahar will be my 10th bowler and Mohit Sharma goes to 11. And my opening combination will be Hayden and Hussey because Hussey on one hand has 50s and 1 centuries where Matthew Hayden has 850s. So I think having a Hussey and Matthew because if Hussey goes can play some play aggressive shots he can play. And considering the strike rate of both Watson has 136.38 and Hussey has 148 and he even averages almost 38 to 39. So my pick would be Matthew Hayden. We have seen how destructive player even he was for Australia and even in the IPL I personally seen Mike Hussey's Matthew Hayden's innings. I personally liked it when I compare to Watson and Matthew Hayden. Matthew Hayden gets upper hand because of the aggressive shots and the average he has. The batting average matters the most. Being a choosing opener, we have to consider average because he is the one who faces the new ball. So my vote would be Matthew Hayden at number 2 and Deepak Chahar to fit at 10. Deepak Chahar to fit at 9. Bollinger at 10 and Mohit Sharma at 11.
Okay, nice. Varun, what about you? Will you go with Matthew Hayden, Mike Hussey combo or will you go with Shane Watson, Mike Hussey combo?
It's another tough one for me. Yes, if you take Watson, he gives you experience. In the final stages, like in the qualifiers and semifinals, he also, he steps up during the big moments. And if you see Hayden, he has a good strike rate, the amount of runs and all, but when you need a good performer, a constant performer, in the big stages like the finals or something, I would maybe this time I would go with Shane Watson. That is one reason, and he can also give some overs. Yeah, true, he's not bowling right now, but if it is really, really needed, maybe Dhoni can just give the ball to him.
No, let me point out one thing. For CSK, we are only considering Watson as a pure batsman because he didn't bowl much for CSK. When we'll consider Shane Watson in Rajasthan Royals, then we'll consider him as proper all-rounder.
Okay. Yeah. So again, he can go big from the start. And he can stick till the end. So yeah, my pick is Watson.
Okay, so 2 votes for Watson, 1 for Matthew Hayden. So GSS, what about you? Are you going with Shane Watson, Mike Hussey combo or Matthew Hayden, Mike Hussey combo?
Generally, the opening pair I liked from CSK was McCullum and Smith. As McCullum hasn't completed his criteria of 30 matches, I would go with Matthew Hayden. One of my pick is Matthew Hayden, being a striker and average. He's one who will be playing the aggressor role up front. And my second option would be Shane Watson. He's a big match player. I've seen him outperform many of the playoff matches. So that would be my choice.
Okay. So it's a tie between Matthew Hayden and Shane Watson. So let me try to break this by going deeper into the stats. So if you look at the 50s and 100s that they have scored, so convert the 100s into 50s. So 11 50s for Shane Watson in 43 matches, which is like 150 in 4 matches, right? which translates to 150 in 4 matches. And similarly, if you look at Matthew Hayden, he has scored 8 half centuries in 31 matches, which again translates to 150 in 4 matches, right? So now, so the big scores doesn't help here. So the 50s and 100s, these stats don't help here. But now, if you look at some other approaches, that now let's see the amount of runs that they have scored. So Mike Hussey gives you the kind of average that you need. He's a consistent guy. So as your opener, will you pick someone who gives you that fast, aggressive start and allow Mike Hussey to be the anchor in this particular innings? Because if you see that, yes, you need someone to maximize that power play. So now again, I'll ask the same question. Will your opinion change? Will you go with Matthew Hayden, or will you still go with Shane Watson? Ashish, what about you?
Looking at 50s and centuries and looking at form with the franchise, I will still stick to Watson, because Watson is the player who can play responsibly. I'm not saying that Hayden can't play responsibly, because Hayden is also a responsible player for Australia. But yeah, Hayden is a number from ball one. He can attack the ball. So Watson can Watson can attack the ball, and he can take responsibility if the top order shivers a lot. So he can take responsibility and go deeper in the match. And Hayden, coming to Hayden, Hayden can score boundaries, fours and sixes a lot, and he can throw his wicket, because hitting fours and sixes in a match for too long can result in cause of wicket. So I stick with Watson this time.
Yeah. So Varun, what about you? Will you still stick with Watson, or will you try to change your opinion? Or can you try to convince Sanjay or GSS to change their opinion from Hayden to Watson?
I'm gonna still stick with Shane Watson. He can stay till the end. I'm just gonna say everything I said before. He can stay till the end. He can show up in the big times. During the playoffs and all. From you saw in the 2019 and 2018 final. From ball one, he was just sticking. Trying to make his team win. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Shane Watson for this.
Okay, so let me put this from a different perspective. So Sanjay, do you want top 3 players as a left-handed players in your all-time 11?
Yes, I would love to have. I would stick on to Matthew Hayden, because that is one reason. Considering deep your question, when Mike Hussey can anchor the innings, Shane Watson is someone who anchors the innings. We have seen in the finals playing. He hits 10 balls, scores 0 runs. Then the next 40 balls he scores century. So that's what the capacity of Shane Watson. That's how he can aggressive. But when we can't have 2 members anchoring the innings in the power play. Mike Hussey tries to anchor the innings. He tries to hit some shots. I agree. But Mike Hussey has a more strike rate in the middle over. After 6 to 14, there he goes big for the bowlers, because be it the spinners or be it the medium pacers who attack the bowling of the opponent, Mike Hussey is someone who goes big. We have seen in the scope that 100 he has. We have seen the shots where he played in which overs. So considering that, I would like to pick Matthew Hayden. Matthew Hayden can go big from first ball, and he can throw his wicket, as Ashish told. I totally agree. But staying for 6 overs, scoring 50-60 runs, putting his full for 50-60 runs is more than enough, I think. When Hussey is able to anchor the innings with 35 to 40 runs, where Matthew Hayden can score somewhere around 50 to 60 runs, quick 50-60 runs, I mean, including big shots, 6 and 4s. Because considering all-time 11, we have Suresh Raina again, who is a Mr. IPL, who has good strike rate and who can go for big shots when needed. Then we have Ambati Rayudu. So I want an aggressive batsman for the power play of the first 6 overs. I would go with Matthew Hayden when compared to Shane Watson. Considering his average, the way he is the shot, we have Mike Hussey to anchor. I think we need someone to play a very, very aggressive role. I would choose Matthew Hayden.
Okay. So GSS, what about you? Will you still stick with your choice, or will you try to change?
My choice was Hayden and Watson.
Yeah. So your first choice.
Come on, man, Watson.
Watson or Hayden?
No, I want Hayden and Watson to open, but
Okay.
No,
Let's
this is
consider
tough choice
that. Let's
again.
consider that. Let's
Can we
consider
make
that.
Faf open?
Wait. Let's consider this option: Shane Watson and Matthew Hayden. Let's drop Mike Hussey. Yeah, Varun, are you willing to drop Mike Hussey and open with Shane Watson and Matthew Hayden? So are you so will you ignore the average and try to get to yeah. Yes.
The reason I opted for Hayden Watson is we have a good strike rate, as we already have a strong middle order. We
Yes.
have big hitters coming up. I'm going with two aggressors, then with an
Right.
anchor and an aggressor.
Right.
So that's why I prefer
yes.
Hayden and Watson.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have a strong middle order coming up. So we have
Yes.
Raidu,
I think yeah. I think
Jadeja,
yeah. I think you have convinced Ashish.
so we are batting at the late and
yeah. You have convinced Ashish. He is okay with Watson Hayden combination. What about Varun? You also look convinced.
That was my first pick, actually.
Okay. Let's try to see what kind of bowling options we have. So we have Ravindra Jadeja, Ravi Ashwin, two spinners, right? And then we have Mohit Sharma, Doug Bollinger, and Dwayne Bravo, three pacers, right? So considering it's Chennai Chipok ground, do you want a pacer or do you want a spinner? If you want a pacer, so we have the option of Deepak Chahar, or do you want an additional spinner? Then you have the option of Shadab Jakati. So Sanjay, your pick. Will you go with Deepak Chahar or will you go with Shadab Jakati?
Yeah, as you told, considering home ground is very much necessary. But when compared to Deepak Chahar and Shadab Jakati, I don't find much difference. Even in the Chennai pitch, even though it's seam pitch, Deepak Chahar is someone who can find a swing here and there. If he gets a minute swing, it's enough. He can trouble the batsman. Bowling in swing to hitting the weakness of batsman, Deepak Chahar has upper hand. We have seen him. He has taken 2 times 3+ wickets in this season itself in the power play. If its best figures are 4 for 15 or 5 for 15, he'll have all the 5 wickets in the power play or all the 4 wickets in the power play. That's how Deepak Chahar is. So we anyway have 2 experienced spinners in Chennai, Ashwin and Jadeja, and Bravo is somewhat like a spinner. We can tell him as a medium pacer. The bowling action and the pace and the kilometer per hour, we consider Bravo is considered somewhat like a spinner. I think it will be Deepak Chahar, because if it's Deepak Chahar, for opponent it will be very difficult to score in the power play. That we from a team perspective, we need to see that the first 6 overs matters a lot. We should not leak much runs in the first 6 overs. Anyway, middle overs we can anchor Doug Bollinger. We have Suresh Raina who can bowl, come in handy 2 overs. So considering all that, I would go for Deepak Chahar.
Yeah. So Ashish, what about you? So Sanjay has gone with additional pacer. So will you go with additional pacer or will you go with spinner?
Definitely comparing Deepak Chahar and Shadab Jakati, the two other sides. Shadab Jakati, the spinner, and Chipok prefers spin. And we have 2 quality spinners, Ashwin and Jadeja in our 11. So I don't think that Jakati makes in the 11, and Deepak Chahar, who is handy in the power play and who can give you wickets if he's in the form. So yeah, Deepak Chahar for me, because if the breeze comes in, because every breeze comes in, so Deepak Chahar can be handy with his outswing deliveries. So Deepak Chahar for me, Shadab Jakati not making in the 11.
Okay. Varun, what about you? Will you go with additional spinner or will you go with a pacer?
One second. Ashish, what was your pick? I went out, so yeah.
Deepak.
Yeah. So Varun, what about you?
We already have 2 quality spinners. I think that's enough. So I'm gonna go with Deepak Chahar. You need a power play bowler, who can finish his quota in. He can finish his quota under 8 overs. So and as Sanju said, if he takes wickets, he will only take it in the power play. He either takes more than 2 or 3 wickets if he gets the chance. So I'm just gonna go with Deepak Chahar. He's a brilliant bowler and he's a grooming bowler as well. He has a lot of capabilities. I'd say better than Jakati at the moment.
Okay. GSS, what about you? Will you go with an additional spinner or will you go with Deepak Chahar only?
Bro, you know my answer. You know it already.
So I think this is the all-time CSK 11 with Shane Watson, Matthew Hayden, and Mike Hussey has left out, which was a very difficult call.
And the video, I want to tell this especially on the recording, because not to hurt Ashish or anyone here, I am the person actually who hates CSK the most. I don't know why, because Dhoni, I like him. It's not like I hate Dhoni. CSK is something not like enmity, but personally, I felt because even though I hate CSK, I was able to get the best out of CSK. That is where I felt happy. Getting my analysis brain into CSK's players. And I actually pretty enjoyed it. You made me expose the CSK batting lineup. And that is where now I think I should not have hated CSK. I should also have just supported as a cricket fan. So this is how changes happen